What's up, YouTube? It's your boy K-Mo. I'm back with another exclusive. Today's topic is one of those topics that's near and dear to me because I love me some liners. Now, there's a lot that goes into choosing your favorite liners, and to me, that's a very personal choice. Depending on if you're heavy-handed as a barber or you're light-handed as a barber. Me personally, I try to be as light-handed as possible. Not to say that I'm the best at it and I'm just so light-handed, but to me, when you get your touch a little bit lighter, it prevents you from, of course, cutting people when you have sharp liners and things like that. But on top of that, the more you kind of hover over the hair instead of like contacting the skin directly hard, the easier the hair cuts off, you know. A trick my father taught me when it came to like sweeping when I was a kid, he'd always tell me I was sweeping wrong, and I thought that was like silly to me. And he would always say, you know, use the broom, let the broom do the work. And I didn't understand that concept. And basically what he was telling me is I'm pressing the broom hard, trying to sweep the hair, when all I got to do is just sweep it very cool and calm. And that's how you kind of develop your touch as a barber. The better you get at it, just, you know, swinging around and sliding and actually putting in the lines without pressing too hard, I think your lines come out better. But that's kind of besides the point. So let's get a little bit more back on topic. Favorite liners. Now, when it comes to liners, there's many different things that the liners do. And people say, you know, oh, you shouldn't ball out with your liners. But the reality is, I would probably say 70 to 80% or even more, maybe less, but I doubt it, use their liners for balling out. So for me, as a barber, I buy liners for specifically that. So with that being said, like, you know, I got detachable blades. You've seen I got videos on the Ultra Octane. I got the Andis Super ZRs. I have pretty much all the liners that are available for the most part that I'm interested in. And all the detachables, liners, this and that. But when you put a blade on those and you try to ball out with them, sometimes they don't ball out as efficiently as they should. Also, sometimes when you're lining out, you're lining up on the face and things like that where you're shaving the hair off. So you need a liner that can actually get up in there. So I use a liner. So that's a category, the shaver. You also have the actual liner. So just putting the actual line on your cut. And that category for me, when it comes down to the liners, there's not always going to be a trimmer that can line real well and shave, okay? That's the other category I'll get into, which I would say is the all-purpose liner. So with the liner, I'm just talking about putting in the line. So those are three different types of things that I see people using liners for, and I'm going to kind of talk about what I think are the best for that. So start off with shave. All right, my number one shave liner is, and it's been in my lineup for a long time. It's been in my lineup for a very long time, probably over 10 years. The super liner. The super liner is a beautiful trimmer. It's a beautiful trimmer. Now, honestly, to me, this liner lines about as good as the Slimline Pros and all of those. It might probably even line better. It's got the typical Andis size blade that you see on the Andis T-out liners, and they're very easy to adjust, and it detaches, which I don't do that very often, but it detaches. So with that being said, you can have different blades set at different levels. Now, this one right here, in all honesty, does not shave as clean as these two, but which those are the Andis FX, the Babeless FXs. But when it comes down to not leaving bumps, this is number one. It may not shave as close, but I use a shaver. I have a video on shavers. You can go back and check that out. But I use a Norelco, or I also use a Braun. So Norelco being my top pick, Braun being second. But with these in combination with your actual clippers, this right here cuts it down to a level. And then of course I would use my shaver and not go past my line. And then I will go in with my clippers. This blends right into my clippers very well. This does, and it cuts very, very clean. I just would say that the Babyliss is just a little bit closer, but there's a problem with being closer. It creates abrasions and it starts to create irritation at times. Now, these have more of a GTX type of blade. So these and these cut a little bit differently. The gold ones are way sharper as far as when shaving than these. These feed the hair pretty well, but the problem is I have with both of these is there are times where these will just catch on pores. And when you catch on a pore, creating irritation, you know, so that to me is not a sacrifice I'm willing to take. These actually cut faster too. These cut faster than these, but I'm not willing to sacrifice quality for speed. So I do love to be fast. I want to be efficient as possible. I love that about cutting hair, but I'm not willing to sacrifice the end result. You know, I want to give my clients the best experience they can and the least amount of irritation as possible with each and every haircut. So if these do a better job, but they irritate the skin, I'm gonna stay away from these on a personal level. Now, if there's a subscriber out there or somebody out there that's willing to give me some ideas and some things to try out to make these cut with less irritation like these, I would definitely switch out because these are definitely great. So once again, shaving wise, this is the best clipper on the market for that to me. This right here. And it's a very good all-purpose clipper for a beginning barber because they will line well and you can get those zero gap very well. And I wouldn't, if you're gonna use these for shaving, I would not modify. Modify sometimes creates a lot of problems when it comes to shaving. So if you modify your clippers, try not to shave with those unless you have some modification I just don't know nothing about. But most of the time when you start to modify this, it gets rougher and it's going to create issues and make people bump up. So keep that in mind. So that's the shaver. The next category would be all-purpose liners. And if I had to go with an all-purpose liner, probably be these. And the reason being is these line up very, 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 very well. And they also shave pretty good. Now, on a personal level, I modified these. When you modify them, it's a great thing for lining. It's a bad thing for shaving. So these never shave. And honestly, I wouldn't even use these as an all-purpose liner because that's not how I do my lineup. But when I talk about all-purpose, it's because, you know, if you don't have the money to just go out and buy a whole bunch of different things, you know, sometimes getting that all-purpose thing can help you to kind of catapult your game. You definitely want to have sharp liners, and you want to, well, depending on if you're heavy-handed or not. But you want to have good liners. And if you're going to be shaving with them, you want to make sure you stay away from modifications on those trimmers that you're using. But what I'm saying is these right here can do about everything. And these are pretty good too. I would say these win because these don't line as well as these do, but these shave better. Most of the time when you're thinking of liners, you're really thinking of the best one that lines the best. So I guess I give it to this. But these are pretty one and the same. This one right here has the Graphite Blade. This one right here has the original one that came with it. And I hear there's another blade out there, the DLC blade. I have not tried that yet, so I can't really give you the answer if, you know, it's better or not. I intend to probably do a review on it, put it on the channel, but I haven't done that yet. So I just want to kind of give you a all-purpose right here. Bam, these right here. Next. Number one. These right here, I think they're a big sleeper. On a personal level, I am a clipper head, so I tend to buy a lot of different trimmers, a lot of different clippers, a lot of different things to better myself as a barber. Now, I don't believe in the fact that the tools make the barber, but I do believe that adjustments make better barbers. So a lot of times the adjustments you have on whatever equipment you have and things like that are gonna, affect the outcome. And not knowing if a clipper can perform the way that you need it to, it can hurt you in the long run. So for me, I always collected clippers and bought clippers because I wanted to find my favorite liner, clipper, detachable. I wanted all of that. And so I try out different clippers for that reason, because I want to know the ability of that clipper for me personally. I've heard so many great stories on different clippers and different trimmers and different things, and come to find out I'm not a fan. And so the only way I know is to actually try things myself, and that's something that's very important to me. So that's the reason why on a personal level, I'm a clipper junkie and love it, and clipper head, however you look at it. And it's because I want to see what's out there and what's available. I hate for something to drop and it be the one that I've been looking for years. So I've went through a lot of different liners, but right now, 2021, in my opinion, these are the best liners. These are the Rim Pros. These are Rim Pro liners. Now, what would make me choose these over, say, a Babyliss? Well, these are sharper. They're sharp. I guess that's, I don't want to say sharper. They're more detailed. They can be more detailed. They don't cut off a lot of hair when they go through. They're not the best at shaving once you modify them. Like I said, I don't shave with these. I just specifically line. I don't even really care what these can do as far as shaving, because I don't shave with them very often. If I shave, it's mostly with it like this, so it has to be, in places that aren't sensitive. And if I'm gonna shave, I shave with these. So me personally, that's how my lineup goes. Like, I have to have a shaver and I have to have a liner. So, this would probably be my shaver if I just went straight cordless. But like I say, it catches on pores at times. It's getting better as it breaks in, but still has little issues. But what I can say about these are, the detail that you get out of these is amazing. It's amazing. And because it's a smaller blade, you can get into tighter spots. And to me, you gotta kind of peck away at a line like with these. With the wall, this is put the line in and keep going. Tap and move. So when it comes down to it, on a personal level, these are my favorite liners. And the reason why they're my favorite liners is because of the detail that they provide. Now, on a personal level, I have never experienced the new detailer that's out there. And part of that was because of the disappointment I had with these because of the shape. They cut well. They cut very, 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 very well. But I didn't like the fact that the bulkiness of it. And so it eventually phased its way out of my lineup, even though they performed very well. These became top because the indicator, you know what I mean? Like, just knowing when, like, I don't know when these gonna die. They say after they blink 15 minutes, they sometimes just die in the middle of some stuff. I didn't know they was even really dying. These, I know exactly where they at all times. It makes a huge impact on the way that you cut and the way that you use the trimmer. So these right here are outstanding Rim Pros. I had to put the wall blade on there. You can do it. It's not hard. All you got to get is there's a little white piece in there. There's a little white piece in there that you buy. You can get it off eBay, whatever, and or take it off your old wall detailers. And these are a hit, and they go forever. I've got like quite a few different kinds of these, from Kimmy to some other brands to some Rim Pros. Like, I just like this trimmer. That detailer, I haven't tried it yet, but I'm willing to say these really, because these really cut at about the same level as the wall detailer do with the cord. So I couldn't see the there wasn't many changes. So in my eyes, these are like 30, 40 bucks. And then you add the piece on there. This was a better deal for me, but I may end up buying the detailers just to do it. But these are beautiful. They're like a wall hero or a detailer without a cord. Beautiful thing. So in conclusion, these are the top liners. Best liners on the market to me. There's nothing that's gonna beat those. You might have some that compare, but they're not gonna beat them. Then, if I had to pick my second favorite liner, it would be these. And the reason for that is because, with that being said, these liners right here, they cut very well, they cut detailed, and they leave that Andis type of line on there. These are more of a detailer line, so with these you chip away, with these right here you put the line in. That's it. Have a blessed one.